Well, hello everyone. This is Robin Carter, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator out of Flower Mound, Texas. And today I'm here to share the second part of my free online class using the Enduring Beauty products that are new in the annual Stampin' Up! Catalog for 2024-2025. But before I begin, let me thank those of you that have subscribed to my channel. Thank you so much for your support. And if you're new to my channel, or maybe you've seen a few of my videos and have not yet subscribed, I would really appreciate if you would hit that subscribe button below. So also, before I switch down, right now through the end of June, Stampin' Up! Has a great promotion that all Stampin' Up! Bundles that are die bundles, not the punches, but the die bundles, are an additional 10% off. So if you are aware that when new products come out in a bundle, they are already discounted 10% for that catalog. But in June, you get an additional 10% off. So great savings on die bundles, and actually both of the bundles I'm using today are that. I did check the inventory, and this one, the Unbounded Love, says low in stock. So if this has been on your list, this would be a great time to get it while it's still in stock, and an additional 10% off. So let's switch to hands down and get started. Okay, here we are. I also want to share, so these are the two bundles that are part of that suite. And if you're looking for them and have a physical catalog or a digital catalog, they are on page, well, it starts on page 52, where it shows some beautiful examples already done. And then the physical products are here on page 54 and 55. So as you can see here, there is a full suite, which is two, I call it a mega suite because there's two bundles. There's some shimmer paper, some embellishments, and some designer series paper. Now, just be aware that if you wanted everything in this, you could order it with one item number, so long as everything is in stock. So even if like the little embellishments happen to be out of stock, that would say this suite is unavailable. But you can order the individual products by themselves so long as they are in stock. So the Flowers of Beauty bundle, which is this one right here, the item number for it is 163376. And the Unbounded Love, which, like I said, they said it was low in stock. I don't know if it's the stamps or the dies, but it would no longer be available as a bundle if one of those sells out first. But the Unbounded Love bundle is 163384. And then I'm going to be using the designer series paper Unbounded Beauty, which is a 12 by 12 set. And its item number is 163372. So there's the information on that, and we can get down to business. So I have had a lot of fun working with this. Oh, one more bit of business, sorry. The new quarter of Paper Pumpkin information is out and available. So July looks to be a beautiful kit. Don't know if hopefully that's showing okay. And the subscription period is going on for that now. I have yet to receive my June kit, hopefully early next week, and then I'll do an unboxing. But going on now is the subscription period for the July kit. There are an additional set of dies for the third quarter of 2024, and they're available now. These are only available to Paper Pumpkin subscribers, so you must be subscribed in order to order these dies. And I did write the item number. It's 164991. This die is going to be used in the July kit. It will cut out a flower that is probably a stamp in that kit. And then we have a hooray and a leaf die. So all these dies are available while supplies last, and I believe the last two quarters of dies are also still available, and those are a great set. I'm also looking forward to August. It shows here we get an additional stamp set. Now that's unusual. Usually that only happens in March, the anniversary date, but it looks like we're getting a bonus one in August. And then of course September is fall themed. It's hard to think fall themed when we're just now heating up. especially here in Texas. So if you hear the air running, yes, it's running because it's hot here. So that's just where I live. All right, so let's get started. As I said, this is the second half. So if you missed my first class, it's one of two classes. I show how to make the products or the cards in detail using those. And I will link the first video in the end credits of this video where you can jump to it if you missed the first one. So let's start with a pretty easy card. As I said, I'm also thinking of doing a class to go, which would include all the materials you would need to make these cards, minus the card bases and envelopes. And of course, you would need to have the two bundles in order to make the die cuts, but it would include the papers and such. So we're going to need a thick white card base, which that would not be included. And I'll show you at the end. I've already pre-cut one set so you can kind of see what you would get. I just realized my grid paper is upside down. How funny is that? You know what? Let's switch this around just so it looks right, okay? All right, there we go. Sorry about that. That's funny. Okay, you'll need a 4 1/4 by 4 inches by 5 1/4 piece of white that I have embossed with one of the new embossing folders out of the catalog called the Eyelet. Now this would be pre-embossed in your card kit to go because I tried to make this where if you just had that suite you could make these cards. All right, and then we're going to use this sheet of the Designer Series paper, and this measures 3 by 4 inches. So like I said, I like to cut the tall part first. Since it's 3 by 4, it really doesn't matter for this one, but especially when I do a longer piece that's like 5 1/4 or so, I cut along that and then at 4 inches so I can get 3 equal pieces out, or yeah, 3 equal pieces out of the 12-inch piece of Designer Series paper. Okay, and then I brought in a mat to go with this that is in Berry Burst, and it's 1/4 inch bigger on each side. So it's 3 1/4 by 4. Well, actually, this one is 4 1/4. I tried to do it proportionate to the whatever card size I'm using. So this is 3 1/4 by 4 1/2 because this was at 4 1/4. So yes, this one, it would be important to cut it at 4 1/4 across, and then you can cut 3 inches to make 4 cards like this if you have that paper. But if you purchase the Class to Go kit, you'll get one of each of those. Okay, and then we're going to need some leaves. Now these were cut with the dies from the Unbounded Beauty. Or is that Unbounded? Yes, Beauty. Or excuse me, Flowers of Beauty. I'm getting all the Unbounded and Beauty and Flowers mixed up. So that's this die right here. As you can see, it's a great set of dies. And then I'm just going to put a sentiment. Now the sentiment I'm going to use is going to be on one of the dies from the Unbounded Loves bundle. And I'm going to use this one right here. So here's an important thing to know about it. Get my little my little sleeve here, which is empty now. It shouldn't be quite empty. I've mixed it all up. This die cuts just that outside piece. Let me see if I can show it to you. As you can see, there is a cut on both sides there. So it's going to cut even the center piece out. So you're going to need to cut one of those in. Here you can see some samples that I've put in the folder. This is in Pretty in Pink. It cuts just that. So you're going to need to cut 2, one in white and one in Berry Burst. Let me get these things put away so they don't go missing. I already had one die go missing that I had to clean everything up for, and of course then it shows up. So let me make sure mic is on. It looks good. All right, let me grab those items. Okay, so here they are already pre-die cut. Now I just removed the white piece. We don't need it. We need the center part in white to stamp on. And as you can see, there is a certain way to line this up. Now the Berry Burst one, I use some adhesive sheet on the back, and I do recommend that when you cut it because those are going to come apart just like this. Now you could decide, do you want to try to just attach that over the Berry Burst? And I'm not going to because I'm afraid it might still show. So I'm going to remove the Berry Burst. Now keep in mind, you could keep this and use it for something to cut out of that, like maybe a flower or something. So I do keep scraps like that in my folder with that color of paper. You know, I always say waste not, want not. Now, if it's too small, I chunk it, but little pieces I tend to keep. I move my little jar of goodies. I saved a, I don't know what this was, a pickle jar or something, and that holds all my little goodies pretty well, including my take your pick tool, which I'm going to use to poke out these little pieces. I should have done that already, but bear with me. Actually, you know what? I think if I take the designers, when I take off the adhesive sheet, it should pull a lot of those. So let's see how that works. Okay, I want to stamp my sentiment. Now you can pick one of your favorites. There's all kinds of sentiments in here. And this one I chose to do, of course you want it to fit. The happy birthday is a very tight fit on this label, but it would work. I'm going to use the with sympathy. I've seen if there is a thank you. There is a big hope. You're a blessing. I like that one. You're a true blessing. But I've used that in some of my other cards, so let's make a sympathy card out of this one. Okay, I have it already here on one of my clear blocks. And I'm going to use Memento Black for it, just so it's kind of a classic color. I do like to use black a lot on my sentiments. All right, let's hope that's kind of straight when we put it on our label. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's a good impression. Let me get it. I didn't get my chamois wet again. Kind of a busy day, but I really wanted to get this second one recorded before my paper pumpkin comes in. So I'm hoping it's no later than Monday or Tuesday. Okay, you can see that thing's bone dry. All right, so we can put away this. I think that's all the stamping we're going to do, except for these leaves. Now, these leaves I have made, I showed how I did the stamping in my last video, but I'll show you again how I did that. So here is my Stamparatus. So any stamp positioning tool would work. Many of you know this is no longer available through Stampin' Up. Sadly, it is still my favorite, so I will continue to use it. And here is how I colored these. So I have Summer Splash, which is one of the new in colors that came out this year. And then a, I forgot the name of these things. A Sponge Dauber, that's the name. Okay, and I'm just going to ink up. Actually, I want the solid piece, which I already have lined up on this side. And I've showed many ways of how I do my stamping in many of my videos. So I put the stamp anywhere, stamp it on my grid sheet, and then take the negative of my die cut, line it up, tape it down, and then it's good to go. So then I can just die cut as many of these as I need. And it saves a lot of paper because you're not worrying about leaving room for you to die cut it. All right, so I inked that up with the Sponge Dauber. I have 2, right? I need, here it is. I'm going to go ahead and do this one as well. So this helps give the ink not quite full strength. And that was especially important on the flower when I made those using the sponge topper. Now, like I said, the hardest part is getting those out. Actually, I didn't need to take that out because we're going to flip it around. Let me get my little squirt bottle of water. Give that a squirt. And paper towel. That works in a pinch. Okay, and now we're going to do the pretty detailed stamp over that. But I'm going to bring in Pretty Peacock for that. Here's the full-size pad. Let me get out my little mini one. Now, I think I've showed this before. This is how I store my ink spots. And so I do them kind of in alphabetical order because things have changed color families so many times, and I just find it best to do it in alphabetical order, except for the neutrals. I keep all the neutrals there. And there's Pretty Peacock. And then I put a 1-inch square inside so that when I go to put them away, I know which one is missing. So that's how I do my ink spots. And by the way, those are the old style clamshell boxes that when we had wood mounted stamps, like before the new case design is what I did those for, because I converted all those to cling mount. All right, let's get this out of the way so it doesn't stick. Isn't that pretty? I love how the stamp itself already has some shading and leaves like some white spots, so very easy to make it pretty and make it look like you're an artist, which I am not. I'm thankful for all the people that design these and make them so it looks like we are pros. Okay, so there's 2 leaves, and then I guess I need to clean that as well. Let me set this down under. My desk is double stacked, so I double stack 2 tabletops so that I can store stuff right underneath, and it's really helpful that way. Okay, here is a detailed leaf. Now, interesting enough, the detail leaves are in the Unbounded Love die set. They're right here. There's a single one and a double one. I've done the double one ahead of time in Pretty Peacock. So let's start putting some things together. Let's adhere the Designer Series paper to my layer. Love that side too. Okay. Let's keep him upside down. He might be getting a little empty. Okay, and then I like using the Tombow multi-purpose glue because it gives me a little wiggle room to eye if it's in the center or not. Okay, and then here is our embossed piece, and I've pushed the card base away, but that's okay. I have a ton of them that I pre-score and die cut, and I store them in these big envelopes. So if you're new to my channel, these are what I call my favorite things. And my favorite things are items that I add to my craft room to help me kind of keep organized best I can. And Stampin' Up! Does not sell them. So I am an Amazon affiliate. So for recommending these products to everyone, I get a few pennies back when you use the links that are in this video description, when you use those links to purchase these products. So if you've used those or plan to use those, thank you so much. And now I'm feeling for which side is on top. So this one's just a hair bigger, so that's where I want to put my embossed piece. So there are several things on that list. There are a couple different sizes, like these are the 5x7 that I store the card components in. when I'm making videos, or just to keep stuff together as I make cards. And the larger ones are great for, like I said, my blank pre-cut and scored card bases. They also hold paper pumpkin kits very well. I have one new favorite thing that I'm going to show. It's how to store my 6x6 paper. So I've always fumbled with that little flimsy piece they come in, and let me go ahead and show you that. So these are the same as what I use, or the same type of what I use to store my paper pumpkin kits in, except I found them in 6.75 by 6.75 size, and I have a retired set here. So as you know, they usually just come in this little plastic thing, right? So now you can get rid of that and just store them in here, as well as the scraps. So this will hold a full pack of the 6 by 6 paper, and it also has a little flap there that you can do. Now, before I got the 6.75 piece, I ordered some 6 1/4. Now, these are great if you just want to store each, 6 by 6 is usually 4 of each design. So this will hold like 12 of them quite easily. So you can see I've already split these up and stored them into 6 1/4. I'm going to photocopy that and put it in here. Or I just store them together and then I know the coordinating colors. But that works quite nicely. As you can see here, I've done it with a Full of Life. If you want to separate, and that way I can show each side of the designer series paper. So if you want to store the full pack, do 6.75. If you want to break them up into quarters, the 6 1/4 is best for that. So that has been added to my favorite things. If that's something that interests you, I thought I'd show that. Okay, back to the card. Back to the thing at hand. So I want to put this up with dimensionals. So I have some dimensionals here, and I use every bit of it, the sides. So let me just go along and clip those real quick. Okay, so this is like a half a dimensional, and for the large dimensionals, I do cut them in half. I still use plenty around the card to support the layer. Okay. We can pull those off. One more. Okay, and now I'm going to do my best to get this in the center. I do like to sometimes use my grid paper. And as you can see here, when it's in the center, it's just a little off the 2-inch side there. And then I can kind of I hope my hair is not over the camera, about where center is. And that's good enough for me. It looks like an equal border. Okay, so now we're going to work with the sentiment in our leaves. And the detailed leaf, which I should have put back in here because he's going to go missing. Okay, I also have a thing of pre-cut things. So let me see if it's in here. And by the way, these are the embellishments that I'm using instead of the ones that are in the suites. I'm using the 2024-2026 in color shimmer gems. There it is, under the card. Anyway, as I come across extra stuff, I throw it in one of these envelopes in case stuff goes missing, like that one. Okay, so let's kind of eye where we want to put everything. Like that there, and my other leaf. Okay, let's make sure we have this going the right direction. So you can kind of see by the negative piece, especially look for that and that That shows if your sentiment is straight up. So let's go ahead and adhere that down. Now the white part, I did not put the, oh gosh, words are leaving me today. It is Friday, and I guess I have too much on the brain. Adhesive sheet, there's my word. I did not use adhesive sheet. You could very easily. So let's see if I can find, the good thing is here, it didn't cover all the way to the end, so I'll have a nice place to pull. I can get my, I may have to get my take your pick tool. My fingernails all broke. And it's hard to grab things. There we go. Should have done that to start with. Okay, hopefully when I pull this, it's going to pull a lot of the little bumps out, and you can see it does. So that helps on that, not having to be too fussy. Let's put this kind of back together. I'm going to go ahead and just glue this down straight, and I'm putting it over my leaves. I may have to go in and add some adhesive to that. And then just line this up in the little bumps. And then I can press that down. That's the best way I've found. Maybe there's a better way. I don't know. But so that fits quite nicely, especially already having the adhesive sheet on there. You can just get it lined up and then press. Guess this needs a little more adhesive on it. It's coming out way too easily. Whoops. Press and don't have a sticky finger. Okay, and this one's pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive underneath the leaf there. Okay, so there is that card. Pretty simple. I know it takes longer to do a video of it than actually making it yourself. Here are two that I've done already, and you can see the difference just these little embellishments make. So I have some here and here on this card, up here. And so here's one without the embellishments. So what do you think about that card? I'll add the embellishments later to that. But let's put that up and head on to our, this will be the 5th card, because since this is the 2nd part. So I tried to use each piece of designer series paper. And so let's begin with this piece. So for this card, you'll need a 1.5 by 5 1/4 piece of designer series paper, a little label cut with the Unbounded Love Sweet. And then I die cut these leaves out of the Flowers of Beauty dies. And then some of these pretty little flowers here. You'll need some ribbon. Now this ribbon is one of the new in color ribbons. It's the Petunia Pop, which is one of my favorite in colors. So it's right here. You'll need about 7 inches or so. That's what I've pre-cut. Now if you, the card class to go will include this. These will not be die cut for you. These would be include a piece of cardstock so you can do your own die cutting with this bundle. And those, like I said, those are in the Flowers of Beauty. So it's this one and this one. And I die cut this one in Summer Splash, and this is just in white. And these flowers, look at these. It cuts a whole strip. This is one die. It's kind of nice. You just need a skinny piece of paper and you can put it down. The class to go kit will include enough to cut 3 flowers, but that's a quick and easy way to get flowers in one pass. So I like that in this kit. Okay, where is my instructions? Okay, and then obviously you need a thick white card base. Let me not lose that this time. And then a piece of basic beige. This basic beige is a new neutral color. It's not in any color family. It's kind of like the white and the black. So I really like this color. It goes with so many things, and I have pre-embossed it with some new embossing folders in the annual catalog. It's part of what is called the Fun Patterns embossing folders. These are not 3D, but they come 2 to a pack. They're one of the mini ones. For size comparison, here's the eyelet. That's usually the normal size. So since I knew I was going to have designer series paper here, I kind of took the embossing about that size off. Okay, so that's how I did that. This in the card class will be pre-embossed because, like I said, I didn't expect you to own the world. I don't own the world, but this is the focus of our cards. So let's adhere this down onto the basic beige. I really like both sides of this designer series paper. Good thing we have 2 sheets each, right? Oh, and then pay attention to your flower. So 2 of these go up and that one goes up. So that's the direction I'm going to put it on my basic beige piece. Okay, and then this is how I do my ribbon. So I like to actually adhere it down. Now you can use tear and tape or a tape runner, and I've showed this. I have lots of this adhesive because I mainly use Tombow. I don't know how long it's going to take me to use all that. All right, and then you can just set that down on the adhesive. I find that helps keep it straight. Let me see my grid paper to see if I got it. I did get it pretty straight. And then I do the same thing on the back. Just put a little piece of adhesive there. You want a strong adhesive. You could even put the tear and tape over the top of it if you wanted to. Okay, and now we can adhere this to our thick white card base. So looks like that one's that way. That one's pretty even actually. And let's go with the Tombow. This is in one of my favorite things. It's a thin tip glue bottle. I just squeeze the adhesive in here out of the little tubes. It really helps on fine things. For your card base, the big one would be fine. Okay, so let's get that centered. That looks pretty good. Guess I should have wore a coordinating shirt. This is more like Gorgeous Grape. Okay, and like I said, I have pre-die cut these. Now, these would be helpful to use an adhesive sheet as well, but there's several big parts where you can put the liquid glue, and that's what I'm going to do here. Just kind of on some bigger pieces. And then the hard part's not getting it all over your fingers. Okay. Let's just set that down. Okay, and then I have the white piece. On the other ones, I did it a little different. I put the white underneath. This one, I'm going to put it on top just for variety. You can put it in your favorite spot. Okay, let's go down here. And then we need a sentiment. Actually, we need to put the flowers on. Let me show you a little trick I do with the flowers. I think I showed this in the last video. So when you get a take your pick tool, you also get the stylus. I keep it separate in my drawer. Of course, I had it out the other day. Here it is. So this will go in your take your pick tool. I keep all these things separate, including the little putty, because I find I twist the putty up and waste it. So I just keep them separate and use them individually. But if you have like a foam mat or your Stampin' Pierce mat, you can take your flower and take the largest stylus in and just punch it down, and that helps give your flowers a little life. They're not quite so flat. Obviously, you don't want to punch so hard that it puts a hole, but that's where using the bigger stylus helps. Okay, so let's put these flowers on. Now, unfortunately, they get a little squished in the envelope, but hopefully they'll still have a little dimension to them. Got sticky fingers. Always get sticky and inky fingers. And you know what? That's going to have to poke out through the white one. Okay. I like that placement. And now all we need is a sentiment. So these 3 cards I think are the easier of the 6 that I've made. And I want to use that little circle that I did. And this is where I'm going to use the you are a true blessing. So again, let's use the Memento black ink. Make sure it's inked well. And I'll try to do it evenly without getting my head right over the camera. Okay, another good image. That's great. All right, this I'm going to put right down here, but I am going to put it on dimensional. So I have a few more on this pack left. There's a whole one. I always want to make sure my ink is dry and I don't smear it. Okay, here is this card, minus the embellishments, but I'm going to show you with and without so you can see the difference they make. So I think it really adds so much to the card. So here is one, put in the Petunia Pop embellishment there. I did this one pretty much the same. And then this one, so which one do you like better? Do you like the white underneath or the white on top? And it looks like mine is coming up. It'll dry here in a second. So that's just a little bit of difference, not really major. All right, so that is the 5th card. So we have one more left. How's my time? My time's really good. These are much simpler than my other ones. Okay, for this card, again, we need a thick white card base. We need a 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 piece of Pretty in Pink. An embossed piece of white that measures 2 by 3 1/2. Okay, the design, there's a leaf. I already pre-did that one. Here is a designer series paper, and this one is only 2 by, I think, 4. And we're actually going to use the pink side of this one. All right, I have some goodies. And then I also have a piece cut from the Countryside Corners dies. I believe this is like the 4th largest one in white. And I think, and then of course we have to do some flowers for this one. So I've pre-done a flower, but I'm going to show you how I did these again. I showed that in my first video, but I want to go ahead and show. So again, let me get out my Stamparatus. Let me put all these goodies together so I don't lose stuff underneath like I did the other ones. Okay. All right, so again, I put the stamp down. I stamped on this grid sheet and then picked it up, and then I lined up my negative wherever that fits best. And then I can just go and cut a bunch of these. I do need to flip my mat around, or my plate. I have those on this side. So to do this first part, see if I'm in camera there. Again, I used a sponge dauber with the Pretty in Pink. See, I've lost my Pretty in Pink one. Sponge dauber. Let's see how dark this one is. I don't want it to be too dark. Okay, there's not very much ink on there. So you just want to take your Pretty in Pink kind of lightly and ink up the solid image. Now, It's so light that it's hard to see, but have faith that there's some there, and if you're using a stamp positioner, you could always add more. Get my magnet out of the way. When I first did this, I was like, this is not going to be light or dark enough, but it actually turns out quite well. Okay, as you can see, that's hardly any color. But next, we're going to go with the detail one, and I'm going to go full strength with the ink right on the stamp. So again, if you're using a full-size pad, it's just tap, tap, not smush, smush. All right, I think I got it all inked. I generally love to use the spots with my Stamparatus. And see, that just brings the color out, but I'm not done. I want to use the little center part, and I'm going to use Berry Burst. Now, if you don't have the markers, you could always do the same sponge dauber technique and just kind of do it in the center. Just like that. So that's how I do the flowers, and I think they're, again, really stunning because the artwork is already done as far as light white spots, and so it gives some shading type look. All right, let's close this up. Actually, do I have my little ones pre-done? We also need little flowers. I guess I could have just used the 2 pre-made big ones, but we're going to make little ones, and I have those here. Bunch of leaves extra. All right, and again, I have the little one, and the easiest part there is this one is kind of flat. So let's see, I'm going to do that one first. I'm going to do 2 of these. So you get to see that again. Okay, so I get my ink, I get my little sponge dauber that I put somewhere. Okay, this is how it always works, right? Like I did that, and now y'all probably know where it is. Here it is. I put it there. All right, let's ink up the solid one. I'm just tapping some ink on there. And then we'll do that. That one's a little darker, but I won't re-ink before I do the second one. And we'll have 2 different colors. I also like that because each one comes out a little different, kind of like nature. Okay, set those up here with my ink pads. Oh, I don't need to close it yet because I need to do the detail. Now this is where I really need to make a spot, because inking this little bitty flower, I often get multiple ones of them. I could put a stamp case underneath here, which helps hold it up so it's flat. Isn't that pretty? I am gonna, let me go ahead and do the other one, and then I'll do the Berry Burst in the center. Now you can either just color it with your marker, or I'm going to use the stamp and actually color in there. Now since this is a pink and it's darker, I'm not worried about cleaning that before I go in with my Berry Burst, because I've already stamped, so there's not much ink on there that would transfer to my marker. So again, just a center to give it some life to it. Okay, now I can clean all of these. And before I put any of my stamps away, I always give them a good scrub with the Stampin' Mist and my Stampin' Scrub. But, you know, as you know, photopolymer stamps can stain, and it doesn't damage them at all. It shows they were well loved and used. Looks like I didn't clean that one last time I used it. So let me just do that so it doesn't get all over me or the mat. And I'll leave that open so it can dry since it's just water. See, and I get ink all over. All right, back to the card. So we're going to put this together. So believe it or not, I usually always emboss the solid piece, but I'm not going to do that this time because I have a little detail piece to add there that's embossed. And I thought just a nice shade of pink really helps that. So as you can see, if you're doing your base, sometimes it's just good. And if you keep your glue running, it'll be a fine little tip. It won't be a big blob. Feel to see which side is bigger. This one. And put that down. I looked real quick. I was like, does this one have ribbon? And it does not. Okay, so then we're going to add this piece and this piece. And I'm just going to put it off. There's no particular, that's about 1/2 inch, maybe a little more off to the side. With embossed layers, you want to be sure and get a pretty good amount because the glue will go down in the embossed pieces. Okay, and I'm just lining that up with the pink layer. And then this piece, which is cut to 1.75 by 2, it should butt right up against there and nest with an equal border. Come on, glue. Gonna have to refill this after doing this class. Okay, there we go. All right. Now we're going to take all these pretty flowers and things we made and put them on our layer, our little countryside corner layer. So just kind of lay them out where you want them. I think I need some more leaves done. Let's see if I have them pre-colored. I don't, but I have some detailed ones, which will be nice. You know what? I need to color one more leaf. Oh, nope, here it is. I thought I had it pre-colored in my little bag of goodies. All right, so just lay those out kind of where you want them. Eye that you like it, and then we can start adhering down. I'm going to start with a leaf. It's hard to see white on white. Sometimes I do find either bringing in my silicone mat in case I get glue really helps to see, and maybe it'll help you guys see. All right, for the little detailed leaf, I'm going to stick him in later. Let's put the big leaf down. This whole layer is going to go on the card with dimensionals, so I'm not going to put these on dimensionals. Let's take the flower and its leaf. I don't want them always pointing the same, so I'm going to move that one turned a little bit more and put a leaf under that one. Then we have our little flowers. I'm just going to kind of cluster those over the top here. And then I'm going to stick in the detail die, and these are cut in pretty peacock like the other ones. Well, I get inky fingers when I do that. All right, you could do those with adhesive sheet too, but I'll use my little glue eraser and get up the extra afterwards. So if that's going to stick in too far, well, it's kind of dry now. I'll just move this over a little bit. Let me see if I can move him at all, and I can't. I probably should have turned him up, but this one will just be its own little creation. That's another thing I like about cards, is they always turn out just a little bit different. Put up my glue. Try to rub the glue off my fingers. And cut some more of these. How do you guys like these cards? Do you love this suite? I think it's very pretty, especially the designer series paper. All right. He fell off. He didn't have his backing taken off. All right. Last card. Like I said, if you missed the first class, in the end credits of this video, I'll have 3 things. One is my picture, which you can subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're not already subscribed. 2 will be a link to my online store, and I do have a host code going on in June. And if you make a purchase of $75 or more using the host code, I send a little thank you gift, special gift from me. And then 3 will be, I'll do the first part of this class as a link to easily go to it. But if you're interested in any of my other videos, the easiest way is to go to my home screen and then click on videos, and that puts them all in date order. The feature page, it kind of puts some random ones up there. I'm not quite sure how they determine which ones, but that way if you click on the videos, they'll be in date order. Okay, I need a sentiment circle. And there is a nice little simple hello in this set as well. I've got my stamps on blocks all over the place. All right, so let's get out the Stampin' Pierce mat. And let's stamp it. Now this one I'm not going to do in black. I'm going to do it in Pretty Peacock, just to kind of bring out some more color and highlight the Pretty Peacock color in there, so it's not quite so pink. Ink it up well. 2, 3. I count to 3 and they stick, so I take my finger and pluck it off. And then I am going to put this on a dimensional as well, but it'll also stick some on the label there. So just kind of put that down. I'm going to put a dot of adhesive, liquid adhesive there. And then I can put my sentiment on. Yes, I took the backing off. I'm going to tuck him under that flower a little bit. Okay, so a nice simple hello card. So that is the 6th card. Let me show you the ones I did with embellishments already, which I'll go back and add the embellishments here. So here's one. I just did 2 of the double leaves versus the single one. And I did the same here, except I added another stamped and die cut leaf. So how do you like that card? Look what, I mean, just, it looks kind of blank, and just by adding those few little embellishments, it really brings it more to life, I think. All right, so let's do a quick review. 1, 2, 3, and then let me get out the ones from last week. They disappeared. I had them right here to show. All right, let me hunt them up. Okay, they're nice and contained in these little envelopes. This one, which I don't know, that one, if I had to pick a favorite, it might be that, until I pull out another one, and then I think, no, that's my favorite. And one more, which uses the peach pie piece that's in there. Okay, so these are the 6 cards for my class. I hope you've enjoyed this. And by the way, I did say I was going to show the card class to go pieces, and just had that package as well. Here it is. Now, I often reuse Amazon bubble bags. One, to, kind of recycle it, and two, it saves me some money having to buy uh, uh, a lot of bubble envelopes. Okay, so this would be an example of what you would get in the card class to go. I was going to include this, but I think rather than me having to then add tax and shipping as well on this, this will be a free gift if you purchase these two bundles from me, or any order of $100 or more, and this will be a free gift to me. So I'll include that. The material itself, the cardstock, pre-cut, and ribbon. And by the way, some of the ribbon I use is retired, but I think I have enough to do several kits with this. If not, I will get a equal colored ribbon, but I should have enough. So you'll get each pack in a little Ziploc bag. So that one, the peach, you can see you get the pieces to die cut. And then you can just refer back to this video and make them at your leisure. So there we go, and these are pre-embossed. So if you're interested in getting this, let me know. I will add this to my Etsy shop for you and let you know when it's out there. And then you can purchase these, and I'll get them out as soon as possible. So I can probably only offer this through the end of June of 2024 because I'll be moving on to other things. But let me know, and I can put that out there. The cost for this will be $15 plus shipping. So I think that's pretty reasonable price. With doesn't include a lot of my labor. So I just want to kind of start these classes to go and see how they go. So this is new for me. If there's something you can add as a kind comment to let me know, something else maybe I could do to make it more convenient for you, then do that as well. Let me switch back to me. I'm looking at the camera, but it's not me you're seeing. Okay, so again, if there's some comment, let me know. And the best compliment you can give to me about these videos is give me a thumbs up, share it with your other crafting friends, and if you're not subscribed, subscribe to my YouTube channel. So thanks for joining me today. I know these are a little longer than my normal videos. Again, I hope to get my June paper pumpkin in really soon, and I'll be doing an unboxing and then working on the alternatives for that kit. So have a great weekend, everyone. If your dad's still with you, give him some love, and or look back on fond memories of your father on this Father's Day weekend. So until my next video, everyone, have a great weekend. Bye-bye.